Gamin is really strong, but also has so many factors that make your experience different every time you play him. In this video, I will show you a few technical tips about his playstyle, like how to get more plunges in each burst, get to Mansai faster, and his best combo with Shanyun, Hydro Fielders, or other teams. Thanks to Gamin's burst, on every plunge provided by his skill, Mansai will be launched in a random direction and then come back to you. Once back, the skill's cooldown will reset, and this is the basics of his plunge spam mechanic. While playing him, you will notice that you have some downtime between each plunge, so let's address that first. This downtime can be used in different ways, either to get more damage in with the rest of his kit, or try your best to meet Mansai and decrease this delay between jumps. What we do here is going to depend on your team. If you have both C6 Bennett and Shanyun, a combo that alternates between skill plunges and classic plunge attacks is viable. It will apply high amounts of pyro, so melting will be very hard to do consistently, and sometimes even vaporize. And for context, a pyro unit melting is considered a forward reaction, since it has a 2x multiplier and consumes a lot of the enemy elemental aura, while a pyro unit vaporizing is a reverse reaction, with a 1.5x multiplier and less hydro consumed. Also note that it's possible to dash plus jump to cancel the ending animation of the plunge attack to make them come out faster. Without C6 Bennett, Gamin will simply do physical damage when not using his skill, which is obviously not ideal. But what if a character like Xingqiu or Yelan are present in the team? Then, even for physical damage, it's totally viable and even necessary to either perform 2 normals between each skill or 1 normal into a dash towards Mansai. Both approaches are fine and generally depend on your skill and how quickly you can react to Mansai's position. 2 normals will not require you to move at all, so it's much easier. Dashing and trying to get Mansai to you faster can be very tricky, but can also lead to the highest number of skills per burst. One more technique available to maximize this gameplay is by delaying your plunge and moving towards the next Mansai. Basically trying to catch him mid-air and using the skill right before the reset. This can be done when using his burst before the skill and is ideal when not wanting to do physical damage or apply more pyro via a C6 Bennett. It also has to be noted that it's possible to either skill into burst or burst into skill. The difference between the two is that skill into burst will allow you to plunge again after a while, which could prove useful with limited amount of hydro or cryo to react with. Burst into skill will need you to cast your skill right away to catch the first Mansai and not waste the first reset. Generally, you can expect anywhere between 5 plunge attacks to 7 or even 8 with these decks. And here I put on my chef's hat and tell you that there is an extra way to exceed these numbers and get to 10 or even 11 plunge attacks with your skill in one burst. And of course, I mean without Shanyun. But it's very unrealistic, it's just a fun experiment I've seen people do online. Here we go. Mansai is a solid entity in the game, which means that it can bounce off things like a wall or a tree. In a very tight space, it will just come back to you instantly. And is there a way to create such a tight space anywhere we want? Yes, with geoconstructs. Look how it bounces off Ningguang's wall and comes back to me instantly. Now I know how copium this is, but it's a fun interaction I wanted to show you. So to recap the more practical tips presented here, skill into burst or burst into skill depending on how fast you want your combo to start. 2 normals into skill is the easiest. 1 normal into dash to Mansai into skill works great, but it's a bit harder. With Infusion and Shanyun, classic plunges alternating between skill plunges. Want to fit in as many skills as possible? Focus on meeting Mansai even in mid-air during a plunge. I also want to add that Gamin has a very strong C6 that not only gives him AD crit value, but also increases his skill AoE by about 50%. But that shouldn't really discourage anyone from playing a game in my opinion. Especially because none of the constellations really change his gameplay. They make him HP positive, have an easier time with energy, and give him extra damage, which is okay. After playing lots of C0 and now on C4, I'm very happy with his performance and eventually he will prove incredibly strong at C6. Even without other characters' constellations like Shanyun and Furina. I feel like the more general topics have been discussed already plenty, so I'm sorry for the length of this video. I just wanted to focus on how to actually play him without wasting your time with information you probably already have. Weapons and builds depend a lot, but it doesn't have many nuances there. I'm rocking Serpent Spine with Crimson Witch because unfortunately I overcrit very easily with Marechosi. If I find more about gaming, I will be sure to pin a comment here, but if you have a question, ask me in the comment section or directly on stream. We're live every day on twitch.tv/7evenplease. Have a great day and I'll see you in the next video.